update coming in, viewers. Actor turned politician Deepak Adhikari has been summoned by the ED, the cattle smuggling case, asked to appear on Feb 21st. Let's go straight to my colleague Shravan Sen, our senior editor, joining us right now. Shravan, this is a very, very big update coming in the past. Deepak Adhikari, who is the LOP of West Bengal State Assembly, has alleged that Dev had taken 5 crore rupees from Mohammad Imanul Haq, the prime accused in a multi-crore cross-border cattle smuggling racket. And now we see a movement there. Take us through the details coming in. Shravan.
Well, actor-turned-politician Deepak Adhikari has now been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. He has been asked to appear on the 21st of February here in the national capital. The matter is being probed by the Enforcement Directorate's headquarters here in the national capital. Now, the allegation that has been levelled against Deepak Adhikari is essentially link with the prime accused, as you pointed out, Inamul Haq. Remember, Inamul Haq is the one who perpetuated this entire scam, the cattle smuggling scam, in which several other leaders have also come under the scanner. But with Deepak Adhikari being summoned by the Enforcement Directorate, it's primarily with regards to whether at all there was some sort of payments that were allegedly received by the actor from Inamul Haq. That is one angle that's being looked into. Secondly, there are certain diary entries that have been made in the name of a few people, which they are trying to verify whether at all it has got anything to do with Deepak Adhikari. But remember, this is primarily keeping in mind that they believe that an examination of the actor turned politician is crucial at this point in time because of the recovery that they made in the form of a diary from one of the accused where the searches were basically carried out.
Viewers, we'll have a breaking of Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in, and we're getting some breaking updates at this point of time. What we can tell you right now, this is just coming in. Darshan Hiranandani has been examined by the CBI. That is right. A big update coming on Republic TV. And as we can tell you that huge update, Darshan Hiranandani has been examined by the CBI. And that's what we're learning of right now. Big breaking updates on this. And this is coming in, viewers. As we have been reporting about the link that Darshan Hiranandani has with the bribery allegations against Mahua Moitra. If you go take our viewers, Shravan, through exactly what we can expect next, Darshan Hiranandani has been examined, and this is in relation with the cash for query case, it looks like.
Well, Shivagi, the latest details now coming in. Cash for query first on Republic. We can now confirm by way of sources within the Central Bureau of Investigation that Darshan Hiranandani, businessman Darshan Hiranandani, has now been examined by the Central Bureau of Investigation. In fact, not once but twice we're being told that he has been examined in the cash for query scam. Apart from that, we are also picking up from our sources that Mahua Moitra, Trinamool Congress former parliamentarian, has also sent a reply in this entire matter. Important to point out here is that a preliminary inquiry is basically underway in the cash for query scam. So far, the Central Bureau of Investigation hasn't registered an FIR in this entire matter. Pending the inquiry, the FIR would only then be registered. But before that happens, what the Central Bureau of Investigation is essentially doing at this point in time is examining all those who are considered as stakeholders in this entire case. So we are being told that a top politician has also been called in by the Central Bureau of Investigation. His name has surfaced during the investigation or during the inquiry that has been carried out by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Now, it's important to point out here is that an affidavit has been submitted by Darshan Hiranandani before a court is what we are picking up. In fact, not just Darshan Hiranandani, Jay Anant Dehadrai has also submitted an affidavit before the court, has also appeared before the Central Bureau of Investigation. So certainly the inquiry is gaining momentum. Remains to be seen when exactly will the Central Bureau of Investigation complete the inquiry and thereafter register an FIR in this case. If at all an FIR is actually registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation, then remember there's a high possibility that the former parliamentarian parliamentarian, Trinamool Congress parliamentarian, could be named in that particular case. Now, let's take you through what are the allegations that have been leveled against the former parliamentarian of Trinamool Congress. Allegation number one is that whether at all there has been some sort of a quid pro quo. Questions that were basically asked by the former parliamentarian on the floor of the parliament were at the behest of businessman Darshan Hiranandani. Remember, the ethics committee also submitted a report before the Lok Sabha speaker in which, after a thorough examination, they leveled this allegation that the MP portal was actually accessed by Darshan Hiranandani. In fact, not once, multiple times. Logins have happened over 40 times is what we are given to understand. And that was not just from India, but also from outside. So that's where the question comes in, whether at all there is a breach, a security breach. Remember, these are allegations that have been completely been refuted by Mahua Moitra. She says that, there were no protocols that were essentially laid as far as the login from the portal is concerned. But what's very important to point out here is the fact that whether at all certain gifts were actually given by Darshan Hiranandani to Mahua Moitra, because that's another allegation that has been leveled against Mahua Moitra, because in the first affidavit that was given by Darshan Hiranandani, he had made a mention of the fact that there were expensive gifts that were given to Mahua Moitra. Was this in lieu of questions that were asked by Mahua Moitra on the floor of the parliament or not? Remember, that becomes a basis for this entire investigation, whether at all there is any sort of quid pro quo or not. Because remember, these are serious questions, because large number of questions that were basically asked by Mahua Moitra on the floor of the parliament were pertaining to a business conglomerate who happens to be a direct sort of rival to Darshan Hiranandani's company. That is the reason why the question really comes up. Was this being done for some sort of a motive that was put across? So all this put together, what's very important to point out is that it does seem more trouble for the former parliamentarian, with a reply now being examined. If at all there is a merit in this particular case, the CBI will thereafter register an FIR.
All right, so what we see is a big deal coming in. Shravan, if you could take our viewers through exactly what the history has been when we talk about Darshan Hiranandani. Just take us through, in the entire episode which took place. Mahua Moitra, ethics panel, and the serious allegations which really questioned the integrity of Mahua Moitra as a member of parliament back then. It's a very, very huge story we covered here on Republic TV. Well, Shravan is getting us top updates coming in. Shravan, if you can hear me, just take our viewers through, what else can we expect next because of the kind of allegations we have been seeing against Mahua Moitra. Then we saw Darshan Hiranandani, a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Shravan, if you could take our viewers through the kind of allegations the CBI is also looking at and the entire background when it comes to cash for query case, the entire issue which we covered in Republic TV, where we saw Mahua Moitra's integrity being questioned as a member of parliament, somebody holding a constitutional chair, and then the link between both of them.
Well, as far as the CBI is concerned, in the preliminary inquiry, all that they are concerned is whether at all there has been any quid pro quo, whether at all the former parliamentarian has received some sort of kickbacks, and was there some sort of a motive behind asking these very questions on the floor of the parliament. That forms one basis of this entire investigation. Now, whether at all there have been some sort of a security breach, that may not really come into the domain of the investigation that is being carried out by the Central Bureau of Investigation, or perhaps may not be the top priority for the Central Bureau of Investigation, but that is something that would be decided at a later stage. Now, the preliminary inquiry perhaps is going to take some more time. Once it is completed, remember, that's when the FIR is actually registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Now, that's a procedure that is generally followed by the Central Agency before an FIR is actually registered. Now, this is based on the report that came in from the Lokpal, asking the Central Bureau of Investigation to look into some of these allegations that have been leveled. We're being told that the Central Bureau of Investigation had also got in touch with the Lok Sabha Speaker's office seeking a report of the ethics committee, is what we are being told right now. That report has been submitted to the Central Bureau of Investigation. They are looking into all these allegations that have been leveled. A quick recap of all that we know so far in terms of the allegations that have been leveled against Mahua Moitro. That is about asking over 60 questions on the floor of the parliament against one particular business conglomerate, and it turns out that these are questions that were not drafted by the parliamentarian herself, but rather Darshan Hiranandani, who happens to be an arch rival of that very business conglomerate. So that is the reason why questions were basically being raised about propriety, whether at all she has flouted certain rules, whether at all she has received certain gifts, expensive gifts, in lieu of the questions that she had asked on the floor of the parliament. Remember, these are allegations that have been leveled against her. The former parliamentarian has actually refuted all the allegations that have been leveled against her.